song. They see me rolling.
Wait.
So they just be riding dirty.
Is that Hurricane Chris? Is that Hurricane Chris?
I think we didn't got that thumbs up that we live. Can we push that button on the clock? Anyway, we live. Okay.
live.
All right. Well, hey, it's just such a fun time to be here each and every week. Again, to educate, empower, and enhance the community on different topics that we face on a daily basis that impacts us directly or indirectly. And it has a significant impact on our overall outcome. And this is why we like to bring in such special, dynamic,
That's right.
interesting, sweet guests to share, some of the information, and knowledge, et cetera, that they have. But before we get to Miss Williams, we cannot go any further, because as we see for the second week in a row, and now that we have kind of turning this into some type of, football power thing, I swear next week I'm going to have my Viking stuff on. You know what I'm saying? This is starting to be personal.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
You notice he said next time. We hear that a lot from Minnesota Vikings. Next time we're going to show
season.
up.
I love the comments Dora made. I be waiting on her. I love football season just so I can see her comment.
Yes, indeed.
Well, this show is more for the community. I wasn't trying to go there, but since our partner is taking us there, right. I got to join in too, right?
Right.
Yeah. Brother Joe, what's going on with you, man? Besides all this black and gold and
we're leading into that starting season, so we're getting ready. We're getting ready. You can't beat it. You might as well come on, join us. You know what I mean?
Hey, is there still time for applications?
It's still time. A couple more days left, where we're taking fans, and after that, we'll see you next year.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Your school has started back.
It is.
People, please pay attention to those kids
Keep
out there
your
on the
children
bus stop.
safe.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Those parents, please be patient. The bus driver is still trying to figure out the routes a little bit.
Right.
Things of that nature.
Yeah.
But folks were saying that the fare was pretty decent, even though that there was quite a few
chaos at the end.
And some of these videos, went viral.
Yeah.
And
They always do.
yeah, and it's not. I don't necessarily want to bash the state fair, because these type of things are just out of control, out of their hands. They can't necessarily, prepare, for this type of stuff. I'm sure that law enforcement and all the other, first responders and things of that nature did a wonderful job. I have to say, is it Falcon Heights, I believe it is, over that way? Mm-hmm. I'm so disappointed that they had a $25 fee to park on their city streets. I'm just extremely disappointed. I for whatever reason, I hope it didn't work out. So then, therefore, it doesn't come back next week.
They won't do it again. Everything's
next
about
year.
money these days.
They'll be back.
Everybody wants money.
They'll
no
be
one
back.
cares about
They'll be
humanity.
back.
They'll be back. They did pretty good. They did pretty good.
Nobody cares about humanity.
Hey, well, only thing I'm going to say, Falcon Heights, you won't get no $25 about it.
They ain't gonna never get $25 from
I'm
me.
so sorry. Maybe, just maybe, if I join the Pittsburgh Steelers, I might,
Hey, I'm smart. I park
Shameless
right
plug.
across the street every year. It's $20.
Okay.
And I'm just a little skip and hop away from the place, and bingo, bango. No long walking, just right on in.
Yeah, well, we saw you out there with some of them photos and stuff.
I had to stop by and see the guys. They was doing a good job out there.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
You notice all of them stand the same way.
You do.
Y'all posture stand.
You get so used to having something right here that when you don't, it's like,
right.
Like you've been in the gym, huh?
yeah, because people think you're being tough. And it's like, no, man, if I tighten it up, I'm going to rub my arm on this stuff all day. So.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Well, the temperature is getting a little cool.
Yeah.
So over the
Best
next
time of the year.
Yeah, well, I'm more of a 80 plus guy. You know what I'm saying? So the sun, I like it when it's the sun. But anyway, it's getting cooler. Over the next 3 or 4 days. So
Hats.
You get to wear your hats and stuff. Okay, watch out now. But other than that, there, man, the links, it's still just they tearing it up. They tearing it up. So hopefully they can bring Minnesota.
I wish they would stop doing that shameless dance when they get finished. Please, y'all, Minnesota Lynx, if y'all friends are on here, please tell them to stop doing that.
You know what? I'm not, so much against the dance. It's just the lack of energy that they put into it.
After they didn't play how many minutes? 40?
Yeah, something like that.
40 minutes, they tired.
Yeah, but
Shameless.
hey, just put a little bit more energy
keep getting
into
those
it.
wins, do what you got to do.
Right.
Okay, whatever motivates you, I guess.
But Brother Joe,
West
you got to hit him with that famous backpack and some housekeeping rules, and we're going to just dive right on into it.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us. As you know, we're every week on Wednesday from 5 to 6-ish.
Right. Somewhere around there.
There you go. Stopping through so that everybody can get that information that they need for the community. We just ask that you respect everyone's wishes and comments and be respectful with yours. Remember, you can inbox us, text us, or call us, and we'll do our best to answer. If not on this show, the very next show.
Right.
As we start milling in our show with that backpack.
That famous backpack.
That backpack consists of make sure you have your driver's license and insurance with you before you get in that vehicle. Remember to place them above the visor. That way it's stopped by law enforcement. Won't be mistaken for a weapon. Remember to stay calm. Keep your hands on the scene. Allow the officer to go through his spiel. And it's always make it on home to your loved ones.
Right.
Same thing when walking down the street. Make sure you got your driver's license or ID where it's easily accessible. Remember to stay calm. Keep your hands so they can be seen. Allow the officer to go through his spiel. And as always make it on home.
Gotta make it home. I do also want to just piggyback on that, man, as we've already had an incident at one of our local high schools where a young man had brought a gun to school on the first day.
Okay.
I don't know how they came about to know this, but it was over in St. Paul.
Oh,
and,
wow.
But yes, kids,
with guns.
it's not an accessory. Guns is not an accessory. If you want to be a responsible gun owner, because they have lowered the age to 18, yet they still have not increased the training or education requirements or anything like that there. Be responsible. Parents, know what your kids is doing, what they're getting into, who they're hanging out with, where they're at, things of that nature. But we cannot, continue to allow our kids, to think that these guns are an accessory and they have to have them. Now, we get it. We understand that there's a lot of trials and tribulations and things that we have to face on a daily basis. But I can tell you now that guns are not the answer.
They're not. But
people are getting in trouble too.
The schools have to step it up, man. Listen, I'm from Illinois, you know that, but we've had the detectives in the school forever. So right. I mean, I know they don't think they look good, but I'm gonna tell you something. It keeps everybody safe and everybody honest, right?
So saving lives.
If that shooting is happening outside the school, and we don't want to see no shooting at all, but at least it keeps the kids safe in the school.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they need to raise the bar on that and put that in place to keep those kids safe, man. Do what they got to do.
They can use public safety groups for that. I keep saying that's what they can be utilized for. It's a whole lot of them, and we got schools. They can be inside the schools, standing outside on the corners in the mornings. They could be out there in the evenings. One can be a bus monitor, you know what I'm saying, and keep safety on the school buses, and they could be inside the schools during lunchtime or during, what they call it, when you go to the auditorium,
lunchtime,
home study or whatever they used to call it back in the study hall.
Yeah.
That's what they used to call it, just to keep kids can be safe. If they use the groups, all of the groups, and there's plenty of them.
Right.
With plenty of employees. If they use them that way, they can connect. Like I said, you could use the neighborhood association to be a hub where they could come in, or check out, go on lunch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
They can do that. It could work if they work it.
Well, here's the thing: is now that she has started speaking, give me an opportunity to introduce her, even though this is her second time back. But that's okay. That's okay. Miss Angela Williams.
Thank you very much.
Right. So, it's only been a few weeks, since you didn't been here, but that's all right. You're more than welcome here anytime you want.
Yeah, I love coming on these shows like this. I like to talk.
Absolutely. So, you and I, we get an opportunity to talk, on a regular basis here recently. One of the things that we have been talking about quite a bit is Black Wall Street.
Yes.
And I know that we kind of had touched
Black
on
Wall
that.
Street is here.
Yeah, we touched on that a little bit last time you were here, but I want to dive in that a little bit more and have you elaborate on that a little bit more and how entities and or individuals can kind of get involved in exactly what does it mean and things of that nature.
Okay, so Black Wall Street, Minnesota is here. It is an official nonprofit legal entity in the state of Minnesota. Okay, what we do at Black Wall Street, this is not a program. This is a movement for Black economic development in the spirit of the national agenda that was shaped by the Nation of Islam back about some years ago. And Powernomics is molded after what Claude Anderson talks about. But it's in the spirit of Tulsa. 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma. We all know what happened. It got bombed. A young Black boy tripped over the elevator. You know how they stop or whatever. And he tripped and bumped into the white girl, and she said he raped her. And then that was their excuse to come in and just bomb the whole thing and just destroy it. So what we do at Black Wall Street, like we seek out districts, like main thoroughfares, and we're going to use West Broadway because that's the first one I'm going to be working on. Okay. So West Broadway from 94 East all the way down to like Penn, it's a whole bunch of Black businesses.
So let me ask you this here. Is this part of the funds that have kind of come in through the African American Leadership Forum?
No.
Okay.
No, Black Wall Street is its own entity. So we're going to be doing the history. We're going to be doing a capacity analysis of the area. We're going to be getting all the information together. We're going to write legislation, and we're going to present it to Senator Champion, to help us author that to kind of get appropriations for the business. Now, what Black Wall Street do, it helps sustain and increase Black businesses. Now, Black businesses that are located on West Broadway, once you become a member, you have access to the funding. Whatever funding opportunities come, Black Wall Street members first. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're a Black-owned business, you're a member. Anybody could be a member of Black Wall Street, but if you're a white business owner, you can become a member, but you got to understand the mission is to sustain and increase Black businesses. You understand? So you can be a member, but not everything might be applicable to you because you're not a Black-owned business.
Okay, so with that being said, because one of the things that we have seen kind of time and time again is that there's a lot of different entities and same or similar things is being worked on, right? But these entities are not working together, even though that they have the same agenda. So with that being said, the African American Leadership Forum has just been granted, I believe, like $5.4 billion. And this is supposed to, again, we're going to use the north side, but from my understanding, it's supposed to go everything from the riverfront all the way up to, I guess that's going to be Robbinsdale area, whatever it is. Everything from
what are they doing?
Glenwood,
infrastructure, what are they
all the way up to like
producing?
49th. So again, they're supposed to be talking about, educating, empowering, and enhancing,
We don't need no more education programs.
What I mean by that is that, talking about Black businesses, bringing in, a lot more infrastructure as far as businesses and tearing down old buildings that no longer need to kind of be there. Things of that nature. So they're talking about doing some of the same things that you're talking about.
Well, no, we're not talking about tearing down buildings. We're not talking about doing that. What we're talking about is helping to enhance Black businesses. Like we're going to have a program. Well, we will have one program for young women ages 18 to 24 because there's a lot of groups out here working with the young men. So we're going to have them come in if they want to start their own business. We're going to pay their fees. We're going to give them a space for business meetings and stuff like that. So to get them I want them to stop twerking. That's why. I want to get them off the street to stop twerking. That's That's why I created this program. But Black Wall Street is designed to bring money to the district. Like if you need a HVAC system and you have a business, you're a black business owner and you're on Broadway, you need an HVAC. As long as it's something permanent, Black Wall Street can pay for that. You don't have to pay the money. So we're just here to sustain and increase. We're not here to, now if we get some money to, like, I would really love to, like, buy some of those properties, them boarded up properties over in North Minneapolis to kind of make some type of, like a happy house or something, or a freedom house or something.
Now with that being said, and again, I'm not part of the African American Leadership Forum at all, so I may be speaking out of turn here just a little bit.
At this point.
But from my understanding, when I'm talking about them kind of tearing down some of the old buildings is because of the structure of the building is no longer a solid foundation.
Right, it's not safe.
So they're going to basically tear that down and then put something else there that's going to educate, enhance, and empower the community as a whole. Now, whether that's going to be a school,
and that's what the black community need at this point. They need infrastructure. We don't need no more programs. We don't need that unless it's going to be a program like what I mentioned, helping young people. You pay those fees for them to help them start their own business, empower them that way. I don't want to see no more basketball programs. It's more to our youth than teaching them how to play basketball and teaching them how to plant tomatoes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're brilliant and they have ideas and they want to, you know what I'm saying, do stuff, but they need that push and they need that support. And that's another reason why Black Wall Street is here.
And speaking of that, Brother Joe has always stated, for some time now, and give you the opportunity to kind of elaborate on this, is that, you always said, when you take something from an individual or from a community, how important and how much of an urgency it is to replace it with something equal or greater.
Right. I mean, the biggest thing of it is, unfortunately, black businesses have a distrust for each other. And so we have to really work on the businesses that are already there, with them trusting those dollars that they've had success with folks who are trying to get on their feet. And so when you look at the history of Black Wall Street, that's what it was about. I owned a hotel. You had a wood shop. I bought wood from you. That wood came back through our community. We kept it here. And so that's what we have to build. I go to a lot of these black commerce meetings, but the problem is that we hear the success that the business is happening, and I'm great and happy about it. But as soon as you say, well, this business over here is looking to try and get started, but they need some startup dollars.
Right.
And it's like, oh, yeah, I can't do it. So we need to build that pot, that trust pot, so that we have the dollars.
We got the money.
We got the money.
We don't need to ask white folks.
But the problem of it is when you ask for the dollars, then that's when the language changes.
Right.
It went completely French, and it's like, I have no idea what you're saying
and
now.
that's why we need to stop doing that. We need to help each other more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we really do.
Absolutely.
And so Black Wall Street will have like economic summits. We're going to do one next May for the anniversary. May is the anniversary month of the Tulsa, Oklahoma incident.
Right.
So I'm going to have the Reverend Dr. Michael Carter, who is the National Black Wall Street USA president, come. I'm going to have some of the other state directors, because there are Black Wall Street districts everywhere.
Right.
I did the one in Illinois, in Chicago. There's two. I did the one for Stony Island Avenue back in 2010. And so since then, when I did the program, I was able to bring in $500,000 for this neighborhood, for this ward, and then $500,000. It wasn't a lot, but it continued every year up until now. I don't know how they're managing the money now, but I know in 2010 we got over $1 million to start services in community, like security, beautification, landscaping, public way maintenance, facade improvements. See, that's what we're here for now.
Absolutely.
If the African American Leadership Forum is going to come and they're going to tear down infrastructure to rebuild it, let it be for a black business owner. Yeah. Let's keep the money in the black community. Claude Anderson and his Powernomics, he says money in the communities, in black communities, should bounce 8 to 10 times before it leaves the community. So like he was saying, buy for you, you buy from me, and then we go buy from him, and
yeah, I mean that was
community.
when you look at the history of Black Wall Street, that was one of the main motivations for trying to destroy it, right? Mm-hmm. Because in one of the most poverty-stricken times, Wall Street was extremely successful in the Black community,
right.
And so when they saw, like, man, wait a minute, how are we over here struggling and can't get and this community has flourished and they got new houses and homes and banks, it was a much smaller area. Right. It was a much smaller area, and they thrived greater. So
West Broadway.
Yeah, it definitely can be done, but we have to have the mentality that we need to be helping each other. To this day, unfortunately, there's not a Black-owned bank in the state of Minnesota. There's one over south that claims to be Black-owned from Indiana, I think it is.
I don't know.
But
I know we had Independence Bank. What happened to it?
Yeah, that's supposed to be Black-owned. But I went over there, and I did some talking, and I didn't get that feel.
Oh, okay.
Right? And a lot of the staff was Blackish.
Black face.
Right, but they wasn't actually Black folk. So they were of different cultures with a darker skin. So, and what the broker basically told me was, well, you guys got to put in before we can help. And I said, well, the problem is you moved into a poverty-stricken community asking for money when that's why we coming to the bank to see how you can help us build structure. But you telling me I got to put $100,000 in to be able to ask for a loan. Well, what's the point? Why would I be here, right?
Right.
So that's why I said it's important for successful Black businesses to just put together a pot. Let that be the pot that way.
And Black families too.
Yes, because we shouldn't have to go to outside entities.
We don't need
for funding
anymore.
that we already have in our community.
We only the ones that keep asking white folks for money is the ones that are controlled by white folks. Okay, They need that.
So
Black independence, we don't need white dollars because at this point in 2025, there are plenty of Black dollars that can help startups, Black startups. Mm-hmm. We can do a Black Wall Street with just us.
So let me ask.
But we do got to go to legislation to get the big pot.
Right. Yes. And each culture though does have, as you can see, communities that thrive.
That's right.
From them, investing in self-investment. So it's not segregation, but it is okay to have things that are more related to your heritage and your culture.
Yeah, we want it all to be our heritage. We're tired of sharing. We don't want to integrate.
So is
tired of integrating.
Couple questions for you, Ms. Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So is this something that Black Wall Street is going to try and bring to within your program, within your movement? Yes. I have been appointed the state director for Minnesota by Reverend Dr. Michael Carter, the National Black Wall Street USA president. So we are a legal entity. We are registered as a nonprofit in the state of Minnesota. And, we have all our tax ID. We got all our documentation and paperwork in order. And so where is Black Wall Street today? Well, we're in the beginning stages right now. So we're going to have a table at Open Streets. So that's coming Saturday. This coming Saturday. Okay. Yeah. And we're going to be right by, what's the church right there?
Shiloh? No.
Calvary or something? Okay. A sanctuary. We're going to be over by Sanctuary Church. I said Calvary. We're going to be by Sanctuary Church. We're going to have a table. Our newsletter is done, which is introducing Black Wall Street. We have, I'm going to have a bunch of position descriptions. All positions are volunteer. Right now, we need I need a vice state director, someone that can help me. We need a district implementation director and an assistant that will go out and seek out districts in St. Paul and in Minneapolis. We're trying to build as many Black Wall Street districts as we can. And Broadway is a perfect segue to get this started because it's majority Black-owned businesses. And Open Streets, it'll be majority of Black-owned, businesses out tabling. Right. So that's a perfect opportunity for us to pass out the information. We are a serious organization. This is not a program. This is not a program. Well, this is a movement for Black economic stability and growth in the Black community. And as I had, put out there, previously, is that and I know I keep saying Black, but that's what it is. If there's any way that Joy and I, can assist
in that, as you're moving forward and things of that nature, we can definitely talk about that a little bit more.
Black media. We need black media partners. West Speaks is one of our black media partners. We need financial experts that can help our youth, because we're really focusing on our youth.
So let me ask you this here. Besides the open streets that's happening this Saturday on Broadway between, I think it's like 11 and 6.
Yeah.
11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I'm sure it's going to be, you won't
Huge.
miss it. Yeah, as long as you're on Broadway, you can't miss it.
Got a lot of vendors.
Right. But if someone wanted to kind of get a hold to you and learn further information or find out further, or just even be a part, how would they do so?
Well, you can. The membership fee is $65. Okay. You could go on www.blackwallstreet.org/membership and scroll down to where it says $65. Now, we haven't determined how much membership fees yet for the state of Minnesota will be, and that's why there will be different membership fees, because it'll be run like a chamber of commerce. Like businesses, it depends on the amount of employees and all that stuff, which will be your membership fee. But a regular person, just $65. The website is blackwallstreet.org/Minnesota. And then you'll see, you can click on what we do and how and why, all that stuff about at the top. But the website is up, it's functioning. It has all the contact information. If you need to send me an email, it's Minnesota@blackwallstreet.org, or you can. We have a Facebook page, and my phone number is 612-600-7527.
Want to say that again, please?
612-600-7527. Like I said, we are looking for serious black people who are serious about black economic development. This is not a program. This is not something you go come and think you finna get some money just because you're a black-owned business. There is a method to building Black Wall Street districts. We have to get a black bank over there, or whatever bank over there, they have to have black employees, something, you know what I'm saying? And Target, as a matter of fact, while we in these boycott, this, season with Target, they need to be coming up with some self-sustainability for our communities as well. They need to put a hub over there inside one of them grocery stores or something to give them some extra income stream. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, Black Wall Street is here to put the hammer down and build black economics, because I don't see it. I see like black business owners getting stuff for themselves. You see what I'm saying? I don't see nobody building anything for the community.
So what I want to kind of pivot here just for a second, because you guys talked about how we struggle, with black businesses supporting black businesses.
Black trust.
Black trust.
Absolutely.
Trust.
And so we have to have, that community accountability.
Yeah.
We have to have that, community connection, that community conversation, the community trust, et cetera, et cetera. So how do you think, feel or believe, that we're going to be able to obtain
trust?
that? Yes.
Okay, well, you can watch me do what I do. Don't nobody have to become a member.
Everybody watch what you do. I'm going to say that right now.
I'm just saying, you can watch me build it, or you can watch and you can come and help me build it, because it's going to get done. This is not an organization. We're not going to be stealing money. We're not going to be doing that. This money is transparent. Everything we do will be transparent, because I got the state director looking at me, and I'm not finna embarrass Reverend Dr. Michael
But how
Carter.
do we
trust each other?
Yeah, how do we get other entities and individuals to buy into what it is that Black Wall Street is bringing? Because right off the top of bat, you said that it's a $65 fee. Now
that's because the national president go say that.
I understand that, but Joe was just talking about when you're walking in somewhere, and then all of a sudden they're talking about, I'm here for a certain reason, and then you get to talking about $65, $6,500 to kind of, you're going to ask, why am I supposed to
do
say
something? Plug. I had to say that.
Though, because successful black businesses shouldn't be worried about that. that small fee.
Right.
See, the key is, like I said, when we're talking about a Black Wall Street, we're talking about successful Black businesses that are already up and going. She's not starting businesses.
No, I'm not starting.
They're already
there's Arizona,
in place,
Arkansas,
right?
There's Chicago, there's Texas. If you go on the blackwallstreet.org/Minnesota, you can see all on the right hand side. All the Black Wall Street districts that are.
But what we need in
there.
place is we need a Black pot of money that we're grabbing from.
That's right.
And it needs to be endorsed by successful Black businesses.
That's right.
Like I said, when I go to attend these Black association meetings, small Black business association, Black commerce association, we're there talking about the success that these businesses have had.
Right.
And I'm happy to hear that. But as soon as the conversation expands, everybody's saying, but we're having problems trying to reach money.
That's right.
And so my thing of it is, how are we having problems finding money if you're successful, you're successful, and you just said you have a success? We shouldn't have an issue with money because I should be able to say, Beeks, next week I want to open the store. I'm short $10,000, bruh. And you should trust me enough.
Right.
To know that's what I want to do and I'm going to pay it back. But that's what we're lacking in. And you saying something great about how do we get to that trust. We simply have to step out on faith and begin to trust, because at this point in time, here we are 100 years. 100 years into Minnesota, and we still do not have a Black-owned enterprise that we can say financially supports our community. And as a result of it, we're forced to go to legislation, and legislation will tell you, look, we have dollars for people of color, which generally includes Native American, Hispanics, and other cultures, but there's no Black Pacific dollars, right? And so the money that's coming is designed so that I got to go through a third party and qualify for it, right, before I can even utilize it. Right. And so there's no education on what the proper ask is. We're asking for $50,000 to $60,000 to start a business when the average ask should be $1 million, $1.5 million, because you got infrastructure, building, staff costs, insurances. So you need $1 million or more to get going with a legitimate business. And so that's what we should be focusing on as as
that's
Black business
definitely
owners.
what we're focusing on. But the trust has been broken because of all the poverty pimping, and it's just in your face now. It's just in your face. Hey, this is what we doing, and nobody is gonna tell us not to do it, and we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna keep pimping you because the system is set up that way to keep everybody bumping heads, to keep everybody Black fighting, to keep the north side of Minneapolis in misconstrued, confused, and that's the work of the enemy. That's if you biblical, if you spiritual and you have a relationship with God, you know when the devil is in things, right now he's all in the details because people are just in their faces and they just showing it to us and nothing is being done. And all of these funds, and they want to get your story, your Black stories, and you apply. Then they say, oh, you're not selected. It's a lottery thing. All of that. It's just a big scam. And then they don't want to tell you who getting the money. And it's just a lot. And then with this recent shooting, with the young kids at Annunciation. Now, no one is insensitive because I don't want kids to get hurt. But my disappointment, and then it's a lack of, like you said, trust. We can't even have why we haven't had a memorial or several vigils for all the Black kids that's been getting killed all year. Why all these Black, and I know it's a political season and it's political theater, but they running over to this school coddling these white folks. Black people always feel like they want to protect white folks for some reason or coddle them or something like that. I would.
You see it all the time. I mean, there was more people of Caucasian descent at Black Lives Matter rallies than there were Black people. So the problem of it is that we refuse to get off the duff and get in the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I'm saying is somebody, if like they have all these balloon releases and stuff like that. Okay. So, and then the pastors, they had this memorial service and everything. Our pastors can do the same thing. I've been saying all year, where's the Black church? Where is the Black clergy? When Amir got killed, I was saying, where is our Black clergy? Where they at? They not doing no prayer vigils. They not in the parks. I said they could come do one park a month. Just move around and pray, for our children. There's nothing for us. And I just don't understand I don't understand why all these prominent black people that we got, why isn't there anything for us? Why don't they care? And why is it so much mistrust? It's so mistrust. It's because you stealing. Now, if you stealing, if you a thief, you're not going to trust nobody. Why would you trust somebody? And you stealing.
Well, I will say this here because I want to wind back just a little bit because I want to make it clear that not on any level, on any page, are we here at Let's Talk About It trying to separate the nationality of any kid, of any child that's being hurt or harmed or killed
for gun
across the country.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, but at the same time, we do see the differences that are the challenges that are faced.
Yeah, we have to care.
But you know what?
And then we got one black organization, got black kids standing up at the Capitol holding pictures of the white kids. Come on now, you don't make the children, you don't bring them into this. You know, if you want to hold the pictures because you getting funding from these groups or whatever, and you got to do what they say, you do it. But you don't make our young black kids do that, because I'm sure there was a picture of somebody he knew that got hurt, a friend or whatever, that he could have held a picture of. You see what I'm saying? Or, you know, if it's a bunch of names, hold up the names, but you don't make them hold up them white kids like that, you know, and they ain't got nothing to do with the community that you live in. You know what I'm saying? Where's the compassion? What happened right there? What happened right there? You know, you don't use our kids. You don't use black kids. They already traumatized enough.
I think they're trying to send a message that we all care about everybody's children. And, you know, and I understand where you're coming from, too, you know, because we do want to still push the unity in the community. I think that's what King said it best. Right. Morally, we all stand together. We see something wrong is wrong.
That's right.
But
it's wrong.
But it is noticeable. It is very noticeable about the different methods in which the violence is not being recognized. And so, I mean, I said this a long time ago, in cities like Chicago, New York, Detroit, you know, Minnesota, Minneapolis, that the crime when it comes to communities of color is not recognized. Like
you keep saying communities of color.
Because
what community of color is you talking about?
Because we used to have predominantly black communities, but now our communities are black and mixed with different cultures. And so when we look at that, it's being impacted. You know, we have black Somali kids, we have black Liberian kids. You know what I'm saying? We have black people who are from Black America, but the violence is still in our community. But there is no parade, there is no march, there is no crowd, and we're losing like 70 to 80 kids a week.
I think they're doing a march in Brooklyn Park this weekend or something like that. But it's still...
You don't see it, though. Like, this weekend, they had, 15, 20 people shot that were black in the black communities of Chicago.
It was like 50-something.
Yeah, there's no outcry. Where's the
march?
Where's the outcry? Yeah. Where's the special forces showing up to say, look, this is ground zero. Right. We're going to put in place a plan to stop this. And so that is one of the things I think that we all have to be able to acknowledge, that there needs to be something.
Well, I will say this here, is that it sounds to me that we're kind of rolling right back to almost the beginning when we're talking about black trust. Because a lot of the things that we're talking about here, when we're talking about black youth being harmed and killed and so on and so forth, the vast majority is coming from other black youth. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
where's the intervention for that? Where is it, like, on the scale? I want black folks to do the same thing on the same scale and level as white folks do.
Well, see, then you have to ask the NAACP, like, where you at? Black Lives Matter. Where you at?
Besides giving out groceries.
Yeah. And so, I mean, these are companies that are in position financially to affect the difference and draw attention.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and not only that, though, you know, I'm not going to put Bobby Joe on blast, but since he happens to be the speaker at the time and African-American descent, you know, where's the push for those legislative dollars to help to stop that violent crime in our black communities?
He giving it to them. They getting the money, but they not doing the work. And that's the problem. All that transparency and accountability is not being enforced.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing it.
It's not out there. They getting the money, they just not doing it. They going and then they go buy houses outside of Minneapolis.
Well, whether
they don't even live here.
Whether it's going to be, Bobby Joe, Mr. Dare Mosley, or any other, entity or individual, that has access to these dollars and has access to be able to kind of come into the community and be able to educate, empower, and enhance the community through various different levels or different forms, please, we welcome you to come on down.
Speaking of different levels, we got to get past these different levels of black that we dealing with. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to. I'm not gonna be disrespectful. But we got to get past the level of coonery and Samboism, what I call Samboism. That's a new word. We got to get past the ninjas, the ways, the crap. We got to get past that.
But all of that is coming, up under black trust.
Exactly.
And that's the word that we're going to use.
It's the propensity of oppression that I keep saying.
Absolutely. But again, when we're talking about these bigger names that we're kind of talking about, even then you're talking about the gentleman that's put you in your position, right? Have him come on down.
Yeah, let's talk about it. He's the keynote speaker for next May when we do the economic summit.
Absolutely.
So he's the keynote.
I know that you had mentioned, several other individuals, that were out here doing the work, as you called it, and stuff like that there. We welcome them to contact us, to come on down, to be part of the show. So then therefore, we can be transparent, and get the information out there.
Yeah, I think today we need today's Dick Gregory's, Maya Angelou's to come forward, because right now,
it's nothing to be afraid of anymore.
we have to step and start somewhere. I mean, we saw a similar situation when there was complaints about there being too many Caucasian officers and government officials in Ferguson. Okay, and I said what happened has been and is a travesty, but when you go to the polls, you should have that in mind. And so why is it a predominantly African American or black community being ran by somebody other than themselves, and then you're complaining about the mistreatment of someone who doesn't look like you? So we have to stand up and be accountable. We have
absolutely.
and it has to be that we're going to put in place a plan to affect that.
No one has. You said we were going to talk about this current political season,
and this is going to roll right into what you're just talking about.
Okay.
Why
nobody has an agenda?
Why is it important for individuals to pay attention to your local, elections, and making sure that individuals are being put in place, to be able to do the job, and not just because their name. So to speak.
Right. And that's what I be saying. Like, judges are up for re-election, too. We don't know anything about none of these judges. We should be having conversations with them, looking at their background, looking at how many people they've wrongfully incarcerated, whatever the case may be. The community needs to, or maybe I could do it, do a bunch of conversations with a candidate type.
Yeah, I think we got to start small with them candidates too, and square them down. I mean, what's your plan to clean Lake Street? What's your plan?
The person that's running for that area?
Yeah. What's the plan to sweep Lake Street?
What's your plan for George Floyd Square, Soren? Soren Stevenson,
when is the trash gonna get picked up? You know what I'm saying?
So all those individuals, whomever those individuals are, that's running for various city council, Hennepin County Sheriff, et cetera, come on down. This is a platform for your voice to be heard. But this is how we're going to educate, empower, and enhance our community.
That's
is by us not only talking about it, but as Joe had always stated, walk away with a plan. So then, therefore, we can follow up and follow through with that plan.
Yeah, we can't have no more Ellisons in office that don't care about their community. Y'all can't have that. You have to, y'all got 5 people running for the 5th Ward. All of them need to have a real debate, not just a question and answer session.
Right.
It needs to be a debate. What are you going to do for this community? And just like for mayor, it shouldn't be just DFL candidates. It should be everybody that's running for mayor.
And that's a tough space because, listen, if you're already in office, I really can't hear nothing you're saying because it's not what you're going to do. It's why haven't you done
it?
Because when you're talking about I'm going to do forward, Man, you done had quite a few years. You trying to tell me you don't know Broadway full of garbage and needles? You don't know you missing out on what's happening on Washington? You ain't seen what's happening on Lake Street?
And just
Come on
because
now.
you black, that don't mean we made that mistake with Barack.
Yeah, so I mean,
and I'm not trying to, I respect him and everything, but we made that mistake. We thought because he was black, he was gonna do something. Now I did get an extra couple of dollars food stamps.
well, the thing you have to acknowledge the thing with Mr. Obama is that that he still had individuals that he had to report to, and there is the Speaker of the House at the time straight up told him in his face that
you're a liar.
No, he wasn't going to pass anything as long as he was sitting in that position. So with that being said, we really have to be able to acknowledge, not only who's running, who's in his positions, what they're going to do,
and the support.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
have to have a plan, and they have to have it on paper. You have to have community benefits agreement. You got to have a plan for that train. You got to have a plan for what you go do for your ward. Hey. Homelessness not everybody's problem, but you do got to have an economic plan.
You got to have that blueprint, baby.
Yeah, you got to have a black economic agenda, and that's what Black Wall Street is looking for.
So I know that we're coming down to the end of another fabulous, show, another spirited show.
Yeah, we do.
Especially when we got Miss Angela Williams in the house. You know what I'm saying? But if I could give you, 1 minute here,
okay,
to be able to share, something with the community, what would you like to leave them with?
I love y'all. Everything I do is for the black community. I don't care about saying black, 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 because that's what I am. I'm black. And that's what I was here to do, serve black people. Black people are God's people. And if we don't get a hold of our behaviors and our attitudes and start holding each other accountable and calling this mess out, then we not going to get nowhere. We're not going to get nowhere as a people. And that's what we need to do. We need to get somewhere as a people. And, homelessness is such a homelessness is such a bigger problem, but for right now, we need black economic development. We need black businesses. We need everything black in our communities. We need schools. We need medical centers. We need banks. We need black, black, black. And we got all these black folks.
But don't forget the black poets.
Yeah, that too. Black poets. We need black entertainment. We need our own stuff. And folks in Minneapolis.
We need black pepper.
Black pepper.
You know what?
We need black pepper. We got everything we need right now. We don't need white folks for nothing. We can get everything they got, if not more, if not better. And we got to stop having our hands stuck out in their faces, stop begging and do it for ourselves. And we've been had the power to do it. I'm just ready for y'all to do it. And if you don't do it with me, I'm going to do it without you.
Well, what I will say is that a lot of individuals have seen Miss Williams speak, here on Facebook Live and other places and things of that nature. I just want to kind of perhaps maybe clarify something just a little bit, if I may.
And black folks, stop being hopeless. Juan, thank you for that.
Because you're very passionate about what it is that you're talking about. People kind of see you as being angry. People see you as being aggressive.
Yeah.
And, and things of that nature.
I am aggressive. I'm a Scorpio. November 18th is coming up. Anybody that's a Scorpio, no.
Well, here's the thing. I can appreciate, and I think a lot of folks can appreciate your passion, of what it is that you're trying to get out.
Yeah.
And things of that nature.
It's just that I love my people. And I sometimes come across, I got to stop all the cursing and stuff. I'm not an angry black woman. I'm a passionate black woman who happens to love her people.
That is the point that I'm trying to make.
Very core.
Absolutely. And again, appreciate that. And again, you're more than welcome to come back anytime. We look forward to you introducing us to other individuals that's out here.
Come by the table. We're going to be by Sanctuary Church this Saturday for Open Streets Broadway.
Absolutely.
Come by and pick up some literature. Pick up our newsletter. We got one.
Well, with that being said, we are down to the end of another fabulous spirited show here at Let's Talk About It. Again, we are here at CCX Create in the great old city of Brooklyn Park. Remember, we cannot do this alone. We cannot do this for free. We strongly encourage individuals to kind of go to CCX Create's website and pull out $1 or $2 to donate. It takes a lot for us to be here each and every Wednesday to be able to bring you news that you can use to empower, educate, and enhance you, the community. Brother Joe, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on over to you so you can go ahead and hit him with that famous backpack.
I want to thank everybody for joining us. We like having you on here. You're very controversial, and I do like that. But I think that, it's because you have a lot of information that you want to get out. And one of the things that when you have a lot of information, you want to get it out when you can, right?
Right.
As we get older, there's so much information that we want to be able to disseminate to help and empower and change our community in a positive way. And I think that's exactly what you're trying to do.
Indeed.
So, we support that. We support stuff like that. And if there's somebody else who got some more point of views, bring them down. The platform is there to share it. We're here for the community. This is your voice, your chance to express yourself about what's happening around you. And if you're thinking it, somebody else in your community is thinking it too. With that being said, we start milling in that show with the
backpack.
All right. And that backpack consists of making sure you got your driver's license and insurance with you before you get in that vehicle. Remember to place them above the visor. That way, if stopped by law enforcement, it won't be mistaken for a weapon. Remember to stay calm. Keep your hands where they can be seen. Allow the officer to go through a spiel. And as always make it on home to your loved ones. Same thing when you're walking down the street. Make sure you got your driver's license or ID where it's easily accessible. Remember to stay calm. Keep those hands where they can be seen. Indeed. Allow the officer to go through a spiel. And as always make it on home to your loved ones. Shout out to all those groups in the community that are out there day to day, doing that outreach, trying to make a difference. You are making a difference. I know some days feels like no matter how hard you try.
Shout out to Westwood.
Yes.
Shout out to Juan, Minnesota.
Yeah. So, we want to make sure we get that word out to everybody.
Absolutely.
All right. With that being said, my name is Joe Banks.
And I'm Anthijuan Beeks.
And we just talked about it.
Peace.
Hey, we just talked about it. I love that title, I swear.